Welcome to Sinister Heroes. I'm your host, Danny Iniquitous. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, this is a channel about Dungeons and Dragons where we try and take a darker tone with everything we do here. So if you like edgier kind of content, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. A big thank you to our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for supporting us. It means the world to us that you can actually help us out so much and help grow the channel. Big thank you to our good friends at Dice Legion. If you're interested in buying any kind of ttrpg stuff for real life games, dice bags, check them out. Use the promo code Sinister and get 10% off all of your purchases. We're doing a huge push to try and hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We cannot do that without your help. If you like what you see here, definitely hit that subscribe button and help us reach that goal. We can't do it without you. With all that out of the way, let's talk about Tortle. The Tortle originally come to us from an original release that they put out of just the Tortle as a playable character. They have a lot of tie-in with Ninja Turtles. If you're interested in that, that's definitely a very apparent stream of influence for this kind of a player race. They often get used in a lot of min-maxing builds and theory crafting. There's a lot kind of circled around that, and that's really where the great popularity of the Tortle comes into. But this is not a species you see being played hardly ever. I can tell you I've played a lot and I've only probably encountered them maybe once or twice. They're not wildly popular, though they are a popular choice for min-maxing builds, and it's really quite an interesting dichotomy that you see so many videos involving them, but you never see them being played. And I thought that was really interesting as a concept. They make great monks. There's something really inherent about that in their builds, and I guess that really strives from their inspirations from the Ninja Turtles. Your base stats are pretty average. You have a +2/+1 or 3+1s to your ability scores. You're a medium or small creature, which you can choose, which is kind of a new concept. You're seeing this more and more. I really don't see the great advantage of being small. I've seen a lot of videos out there suggesting that if you ever do have the option, mechanically it's better to be a smaller creature. Not my thing. It just doesn't feel like purposeful for me. I don't see the real benefit of changing the size of a creature to be almost 3 feet tall just so I can get a mechanical bonus. Again, I don't play the game that way, but if that's your thing and you're very into getting those as many advantages as possible, maybe that might be something you can consider. You do have a walking speed of 30 feet, so you are not slow by any means. You do not have dark vision, which is something to keep in contact with, because you got to make sure to take the correct actions in order to make your character viable in the dark. Claws. You have claws that you can use to make unarmed strike. When you hit with them, the strike deals 1d6 plus your strength modifier slashing damage, instead of the bludgeoning damage normal for an unarmed strike. This again leans towards that idea of being a monk and really that Ninja Turtles type theme. What's important to note is that species that do have unarmed strikes built into their kit usually have it for a specific reason. How these characters are designed physically and what they look like and act like is really a telling thing for where they kind of fit in thematically. They have claws, so they are probably not your normal pet turtle, and more so your kind of outside wild turtle, which some of them can be actually pretty aggressive and some of them can be rather quick and dangerous to those within its parameters that it's able to fight off and whatnot. But this means that you have claws. This means that you can attack. So this gives you a reason to feel comfortable slashing at something. Meaning you should have some sort of affinity to being in melee or some sort of confidence with that. And that helps you build towards an idea of what your character should be or could be. Again, this leans so hard towards the Ninja Turtles, and I think this really reinforces the idea of being a monk. Hold breath. You can hold your breath for up to an hour. This is something that you see pretty regularly with other reptilian species. Not that there are so many, but it is something that is a growing trend. And it makes sense considering how many reptiles are able to go into water and last a significant amount of time in there before having to come up for air. The important thing to note is this has out of water implications. You're not always going to be surrounded by water. You're not always playing Ghosts of Saltmarsh. If you are in a room or something and there's a hallway with a gas or with a poisonous entity in there, this is where that kicks in. There's a lot of situations where you might be able to be, say someone casts Stinking Cloud or any of those spells that require you to be able to breathe. If you hold your breath, you do not have to make those concerning saving throws. You can be able to traverse that area because you're able to hold your breath for an hour without causing any discomfort to yourself. It is significantly better when you remember to use those implications outside of the water. Natural armor. Your shell provides you a base AC of 17. Your dexterity modifier doesn't affect this number. You can't wear light, medium, or heavy armor, but if you are using a shield, you can apply the shield's bonus as normal. This is one of those things that I think is very unusual. A lot of builds involving Tortle tend to pick Tortle specifically because of this trait. Now, a 17 AC is a big AC. It's the same thing as equipping Splint Mail. It's high up there. Unless you have unarmored defense like the Barbarians or the Monks get, and that number supersedes this number, this is kind of where your AC is going to be at the whole time. Again, you cannot wear armor, so if you wanted to boost your AC, you would need things like Cloak of Protections, Ring of Protections, anything that gives you an item that provides an AC benefit. Or if you have unarmored defense and that happens to surpass this because you happen to meet the right stat requirement to do so. This is really a lot of the reasons why I see a lot of people making builds and involving Tortles, so that way they can maintain this 17 AC. There's a lot of ways to get it. I don't know if necessarily removing the ability for you to equip armor is necessarily the best choice, but you have to kind of figure out your own character and live how you see fit. So a lot of times you will see a lot of builds, a lot of min-maxers going right to Tortle just so they have this bonus AC. Nature's Intuition. Thanks to your mystical connection to nature, you gain proficiency in one of the following skills of your choice: animal handling, medicine, nature, perception, stealth, or survival. In the original release of the Tortle, it was just survival, but in Monsters of the Multiverse, it gives you an option depending on what character you're going to build or what class and background you pick. One of these will probably fit into that. A lot of the times I imagine it's going to be perception, because you make perception checks so often, having proficiency is going to be a benefit to you. Shell Defense. You can withdraw into your shell as an action. Until you emerge, you gain a +4 bonus to your AC, and you have advantage on strength and constitution saving throws. While in your shell, you are prone, your speed is 0 and can't increase. You have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. You can't take reactions, and the only action you can take is a bonus action to emerge from your shell. I think this is a great kind of stealth tool. If you find some barrels, shrink down into your shell, because I imagine you drop a couple of feet and just lean, hopefully you lean against the wall and just stay still, and maybe they won't know that they're looking for a Tortle and just overlook you. This being said, some of this doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why you have advantage on strength saving throws, but I guess it's because it makes you denser and harder to lift, because it's a bizarre kind of oblong shape and a very big size, so it might be difficult to pick you up and throw you. So maybe that's why you have advantage on saving throws of the strength variety. Constitution makes sense. You're kind of hard to touch your soft spots. But outside of that, I can't find a lot of good reasons to implicate this. Unless maybe you're guaranteed to be blocking a doorway so somebody can't pass you. Maybe you just need to hold down a line for somebody to do something, but even still, I'd rather be able to take an action. Our final thoughts. The Tortle is a very interesting example. If you take away the huge Ninja Turtle influence, and that's a big driving factor. I know a lot of people love the Ninja Turtles, and I do myself, and it's such a staple in society, and you have the great ability to now play as one, but it's not the species you think it is. You see it a lot in min-maxing builds. I know I see it often. So is it really that great of a species? And I don't really believe it is. Don't get me wrong, having 17 AC is a big AC to start the game out with. But once you hit 6th or 7th level, it's not impressive. And the species base abilities shouldn't really be, unless they're an action that they can actually take, shouldn't be something that you that is overpowering and still measuring that greatly towards the middle and the end of the game. But to see it as often as you do, I don't find it to be worth that kind of a merit. They make great months. They have a couple of things going for them, but there's nothing inherent about them that makes them seem grander than other options. I'd rather have a breath weapon or innate spell casting or a certain skill I could use that no one else can, or you know, even the ability to walk up walls and stuff like that once I hit level 3. Like, stuff like that really kind of screams this creative opportunity, where this is really just kind of a very strong defensive starting point. And it's a cool concept. You can make any character whoever you want, and you can really build whatever you want out of a Tortle and make a lot of different things, especially if you wanted to be maybe a spellcaster and have that AC really carry you pretty far. But I don't think it's as strong of a race or species as it's usually presented to be. It's not bad in any way, shape, or form. There's a lot of things it has going for it. The AC is great. The natural weapon I happen to enjoy because it really helps me build an extra attack. And when I play monks, I kind of separate claws, punches, headbutts, kicks, and things like that. That being said, we're going to bring this video to a close. If you've played a Tortle, definitely let me know how it was like. If you really enjoyed it, if you tried one out, and what were some of the stronger points, or what your character was just simply like. I'd love to hear about your characters and the kind of things that they were able to do, or why they were able to succeed, or some of the great uses you maybe found for shell defense. Definitely let us know in the comments. Big thank you to our Patreon supporters. We love you guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. What you do is amazing. Another shout out to our good friends at Dice Legion. Use the promo code Sinister, get 10% off all of your purchases. Again, we are doing this huge push to try and hit 2,000 by the end of the year. It is a goal that we cannot accomplish without you. So if you've made it this far into the video, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. And with all said and done, thank you for giving a spooky kid a chance.